For those of you I met last weekend in Queenstown, it was great to meet you. If you see me out and about, definitely come and say hello. Always nice to meet you all. And I might be able to answer a quick question for you if you do come and ask me. We now have the final wording for the changes to the partnership work visa for the partners of workers. Just for clarity straight away, these do not apply to those of you who already hold a partnership visa as a partner of a worker. It doesn't impact that current visa you've already got. Those of you who have already applied for that partner of a worker visa, as long as you have applied already or you're going to apply up to and before 30th of May 2023, all the partners of residents, visa holders or citizens doesn't apply to you either. For those of you who are already on a partnership work visa as the partner of a worker, you may want to look at how long you have to go on that visa. Maybe worth you applying for a new visa before these new rules come into effect, because these new rules will impact how easy it is for you to get employment on that visa. Before we go any further, of course, this video is not legal advice. It's just our commentary on immigration here in New Zealand. To look at the legal advice, please get in contact with us at the email below. Definitely mention my name in there to make sure that you get through to myself or one of the people on my team. Now the changes are fairly simple. First thing is that they come into effect on the 31st of May, meaning that applications made on 31st of May will have these rules applied. Applications made prior to that, say 30th of May or before, or made already, these changes won't apply to those applications. Now looking at the first page here, it provides a bit of the base details. One thing you will notice there now, as been requested a number of times, a list of accredited employers will be on the Immigration New Zealand website from 31st of May. Up till now we've had a few lists released by the government at various times based on requests from various MPs. We'll actually have a list now on the website as we used to have several years ago with the old scheme, so you'll know who actually is accredited. We do know there's a number of employers out there who seem to be almost scared about accreditation. If handled correctly with the correct lawyers, it can actually be a relatively straightforward process. We have a set fee process, and we also provide the documentation required for the employer to, if they follow our documentation and our guidance, they'll be able to find it actually quite a simple process to comply with, but definitely is a change from how things were done previously. Now we're going to look at the next page. This is actually the most the changes that cover most of this new law, with some we're going to look at the changes that have come through. They're mostly covered in just this one page here of the amendment circular. Now, these new rules are around two things. They're about getting more employers accredited, because accreditation should hopefully lead to employers who are better employers, as they require the employer to make migrants more aware of their rights. The other change is to get the average pay level out increased, because they don't want migrants, well, basically they don't want the country to be reliant on migrants in low-paid jobs. They want to get migrants earning more, which is never a bad thing for migrants. Now, with some exceptions, which we will cover later in the video, partners of workers who are on work visa holders who applied from 31st of May will only be able to be employed by accredited employers and must be paid at least the median wage of $29.66 per hour. There is no need to actually apply for an accredited employer work visa. It's just that your employer must be accredited and you must be earning that median wage. There is no minimum number of hours of working, so you can do this part-time, or you can do as many hours as you want, as long as those two requirements are met. Now, for those of you that currently hold employment and will be looking at getting another partnership work visa in the future, and will get this conditions put on that visa, you won't be able to maintain and continue working in that job unless the employer meets that accreditation requirement, and unless you're being paid at least the median wage. If that isn't the case, then definitely get the employer to contact us about getting accreditation, or talk to them about getting your pay raise up to that median wage level. Otherwise, you cannot keep working. Now, it's important because when you have these conditions on your visa, you must work within those conditions. If you don't, you'll be in breach of that visa. If Immigration New Zealand are aware of that, that can jeopardise any future visa you have, because immigration will know that you worked in breach of your visa. When you apply for future partnership visas or even residency, they may go and ask you to provide your IRD statements, which will show tax being paid. They may ask you to provide your bank statements, which show income coming in, or your pay slips, and any of those may show that you were working for either an unaccredited employer or working below the median wage without a right to do so, and that can jeopardize your future visas. So definitely be very cautious about who you're going to work for once you have these conditions on your visa. Now, for the employer, a job check is not required, but accreditation is of course required. Now, the requirement to only work for accredited employers at or above the median wage will appear on the visa itself, and any work that does not fall within that, of course, is a breach, but you'll have that condition written on the visa. Now, someone on this visa can work for below the median wage, but for an accredited employer, definitely, if the role is covered by a sector agreement, such as those who are working in the care sector, where the payment requirements are lower in that sector under the agreement. You can also get a visa without these conditions, so you can apply after 31 May and get a partnership work visa from a partnership with a worker without these conditions, or have the conditions removed if your partner is on a work visa under a green list role. So they're working in a role that's on the green list and they meet the conditions of the green list. You can have the visa granted without these conditions, or have these, or if your partner changes and get a variation to a job on the green list to meet the conditions, you can have those conditions removed. The other allowance there is if your partner is earning at least twice the median salary, you can get the work visa without conditions, or again, if they get a pay increase to above the median salary, you can ask for a variation to get that condition removed, allowing you to work for whoever for whatever wage, as long as of course it's above the minimum wage. That is about it. It is fairly straightforward, and it is great to see immigration providing us with these rules 2 weeks in advance, as opposed to in the past where they've been sort of the day before or maybe even the day after. If we can assist with your partnership visa or helping an employer get accredited correctly, please get in contact with us. Details are down below. You'll also see a link down there. Yesterday I had the privilege of being on Chris Patterson's Law Down Under podcast. We're talking about the law in New Zealand, particularly around social media law and internet law. Links are down below. It's an hour and a half. I think it's quite interesting. Hopefully some of you do as well. Definitely check it out. I do have other videos that are on the way, but I've been busy with work, and there hasn't been much immigration news to sort of get out there to you with. RV21s are getting faster. We're seeing those come through at a faster pace, which is great, and they're looking to get those finished by some point in June for the vast majority. But that's about all there has been immigration news-wise that we want to sort of get across to you that might sort of change how things are going for you. I will be back with future videos, and I've got a big article coming, so keep an eye on our website for that. We'll get that out hopefully in the next week. Until then, kia kaha and stay safe.